Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Nikki from Janick Fashions, and this is the second video in my series, Say Yes to Making the Dress. So my sister asked me to make her wedding dress for her, and even though I was extremely nervous, I said yes. So in my last video, the first video in the series, I showed you the design and I made a prototype and showed you what that test dress looked like. So for this video, I'll be focusing exclusively on the top of the dress. I decided to make another prototype, but this time I just wanted to make a shirt. So a shirt that would look like the top part of the dress. And I'm actually wearing the shirt right now, so you can see a little bit of it, but if you stay tuned, later in the video I will show you the rest. I'll actually be walking you through all the steps that I used to make this shirt. So even though you don't get to see the tutorial of the dress, you actually do get to see the tutorials for the prototypes that I'm making. After finishing this top, I checked in with my sister and together we made one minor design change, and then I jumped straight into making the top part of the actual dress, which I will also show you later in this video. So let's begin. All right, so in order to make our cowl neck shirt, I will be drawing out the shape that I just showed you onto this fabric. Right now my fabric is turned inside out and it is doubled up. The bottom of our shirt should have a width of 24 inches. And I've actually already marked that out with 2 safety pins. Our height should be 10 inches, but I am actually going to be safe and go for 11.5 just in case I decide to make this shirt a little bit longer than originally planned. And so I will not do excessive marking. I'm just going to put a dot here to show that top piece. And I'm going to mark that out on the other side as well, 11.5 inches. All right, so you cannot see the markings probably because they are so tiny, and that's intentional. I do not want to have a lot of purple markings on my sky blue fabric here. All right, so I need the midpoint of this fabric. So we know that this is 24 going across from pin to pin. And so I need to mark the 12-inch point. And the reason for marking that midpoint is because I will need to figure out what is 16 inches at the very center at the top of the fabric. All right, so now my tape measure is going straight down the center of this fabric. So we have 11.5 inches going up here, and then we have another 5 inches, as you can see from the sketch, that we need. So I'm going to stop up here at 16.5 inches and make another marking. So now that I have that marking, we know we need to have 16 inches going across the top. So I am going to have 8 inches on the left of that marking and 8 inches on the right of that marking, and that will represent what will eventually be the cowl neck of our fabric. Just in case you cannot see it, what we have here is a rectangle going that way. That way. We're going to be closing it with a curve going this way for the arm and going this way for the other arm. All right, so I'm going to be using my curved ruler to figure out what would be a nice curve for joining those 2 points. And that is perfect. So I don't want to ruin this with a bunch of purple, so I'm going to use safety pins to mark that out. All right, so I decided to use my faithful safety pins to show the markings because you weren't able to see it on camera. And I only decided to mark the right side because what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this, fold it in half, and then cut the other part to match so I get it actually 100% symmetric. Love the symmetry. All right. All right, so my next step is to take this to the machine and I am going to close up all of the seams. So these 2 layers are actually going to both be at the front of the shirt, and we will talk about the back of the shirt when we're done putting this together. All right, so now it's time for me to measure and cut out the triangles that are going to be attached to the back of the shirt. And so we're going to have 11 inches going down that way, again, just like the shirt. and we're going to have 5.5 inches going this way, and I'm going to close it up. So we have a nice right angle triangle here, and I'm going to have another triangle that mirrors it on the right side of the shirt. All right, so here are my two triangles. I'm going to go ahead and sew the seam going down this way, but I am going to leave a space here and here for the strap. And on my mirror image triangle as well, I'm going to leave a space here and here for the strap. And I didn't mention this before, but I also left a space in the front of the shirt for the strap. The next thing I'm going to do is create the 4 straps that will go in the back of the shirt as well. So I am going to eyeball it, and I'm going to cut each strap about 1 inch, and I will be making spaghetti straps. They will all be very thin, so I just need to make sure they're approximately the same size. Alright, so my 4 straps are now cut and pinned, and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and they stretch in this direction. I'm going to sew them with a zigzag stitch and turn them over. Alright, so I finished making the triangle panels for the back. I finished both, and I sewed the straps onto them from the inside. So I had it inside out, and I just went ahead and attached the strap through and sewed it on. Our next step is to attach these triangle panels to the shirt that we have so far. So here is the shape that we have. Let me actually turn it so you can see a little bit better. Here is the shape that we have. I will be pinning my panels on to, there we go. I'll be pinning my panels on, and this will give a little bit more coverage in the back, but also allow for a nice V shape in the back. So pin those triangle panels to the back, right side to right side, and I'm going to bring it to the machine and stitch it up. All right, so since I am just using this shirt as a tester for the dress, I am not going to make a whole dress, so I needed a waistband. So I took a waistband that I bought online, I will link this below, and I just sized it around my waist and pinned it on the wrong side. And I took the shirt and I pinned it to the waistband, right side to right side, and looking very messy right now, but of course I'll be cleaning that up. So I measured out the straps, I pinned it at the top where everything should fall into place, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch the straps on, stitch the waistband on, and then once I am done, I will check with my sister to see if she approves of the shape of the top of the dress. Alright, so here's the finished product of the prototype shirt that I just made. Alright, so there's a few things I like about this shirt, and there's other things that I don't like so much. So it's definitely a lot better than the prototype that I initially made. Now, one thing about this shirt, it's made from a very stretchy fabric, and that's a part of the reason you see there's a little bit of gaping right here. But another reason that you see a bit of gaping is because a third set of straps would kind of hold things in a little bit better. So I'm definitely going to add that third pair of straps, so you'll be seeing 3 straps on the left and 3 straps on the right. I think I'm ready to actually begin the real dress, the real top of the dress. All right, so what you're looking at right now is a rough draft of the first part of the dress, the top of the dress. And so why rough draft? Basically, I have a lot of it pinned together because I don't want to sew it together yet. A lot of it is pinned together because when I get to her, I am going to make adjustments so that it can fit her body perfectly. So right now, pinned together, this is what it looks like, and I am happy with it so far. Thanks again for joining me on this very exciting journey. Over the next few weeks, I will continue working on this project. I have no choice, but I definitely will be continuing to work on this project. So please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to join me on this special journey.